Maple is one of those woods that it's easy to take for granted because you can go to just about any lumber shop and get maple because they'll have boards there. But the wood that you're going to see in the lumber places, if you found a piece like this one, for the furniture makers they'd say, oh, that's really nice, you know, look at that nice curl and everything in there. But that's not the sort of thing that we look for when it's knife handle material. As you cut through a lot of maple, it's probably about 1% of it that you'll see that'll have a really nice figure. Like as an example, this one is some really good fiddleback figure. You notice as I move it around, those stripes, they'll change size and shape a little bit. That would be considered fiddleback because of how tight those lines are in there. This is what we'll call flamed maple because it's still got those curly lines in there, but it's a little tighter and the lines are going at a right angle to the grain there. And once again, it's, you know, nice movement in it. Maple's nice because it's got a good metallic flash to it, and so the figure does tend to move around in it. Sometimes you'll find pieces it's hard to know what to call it just because the figure's so unusual in there. Like this one here, and the color changed a little bit in this one because it was an older piece from a tree that was starting to die. After the wood, say the tree has died or it's been injured, spalting will happen to where fungus will get into the wood. So you see we can get different kinds of coloring in there. With spalted wood I try to find stuff that has nice figure and unusual coloring in there. A lot of people will cross cut it to where you're seeing this portion here as the faces of your blocks, but that makes for your weakest block. I try to cut to where the length of the direction the tree's growing. That gives you the most strength. This is a piece of maple burl to where it had started to spalt some. So you see we got some of the orange colors, you get some of these black lines, and those are barriers between the different colonies of fungus. Like this light color, the orange color, and the brownish color, those are all different sorts of fungus, and they'll put up a little barrier in between them. This was another piece of really nicely figured that had spalted a little bit, but what I'm looking for is a good, tight, really bold figure in that. This one, a piece of maple burl. So you see we get those kind of bubbly shapes and the little eyes in there. And you have a three-dimensional depth to the figure in these. Some of the maple we'll take and we'll dye it because people like a lot of the different colors. And so using a transparent dye, you still get the character of the grain and the figure showing. But the colors there, you'll see how it'll go from light to dark, and as you move it around, the hue will change a little bit. With some of the spalted pieces, where there was like on here, where we had these oranges, that resists the dye. So say with this piece here, where I had it dyed green, the oranger areas resisted the dye, the cleaner areas accepted the dye there. So you get the different coloring there. With the random colors, keeps it more of a natural look. And then here, this one was dyed in the black. The blacks and the blues, you kind of get color changes in them, to where, I don't know if you can see it with the camera here, but the black will show kind of blues and purples in there as it moves around and the light hits it from different directions. So maple's one of those to where sometimes people will see the name maple and they're expecting to see something like this, and they might not even bother to take a look at it. But the pieces that we pick out, we try to make it the most dramatic pieces that are unlike anything that you've ever seen before. Hope you like this stuff.